So a couple of years ago, I had this video that I watched, and I'm not sure exactly where I found it. This author named Matthew Dix, and he is a storyteller. So he professionally is working as a storyteller, and what they do is like they go to these competitions, they tell these stories, and the way they speak, and like they rate it on a bunch of other stuff. What matters is that like it's like really like ranked. It's like ranked storytelling. You ever played like ranked video games? It's like storytelling but ranked servers. And he had a book named Storyworthy, and his whole thing, he had a whole TED talk, and in the book he would talk about this concept called homework for life. This concept single-handedly changed how I view life. It single-handedly made my life more memorable, more fun, longer, in a good way. Like life feels like there's so much more happening. It is by this concept, and I want to teach you exactly what it is. To show respect to you, and I'm glad that you're watching this video. So many people watch just so many random videos on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Reels, videos they don't even like or not entertained by. So I'm grateful that you're watching my video, and I promise by the end of this I will teach you exactly what homework for life is in a way that makes your life more memorable, more fun, and you genuinely start enjoying your life again, regardless of if you're on the self-improvement path or you're just cruising around and just you're watching a random video. You're in school, you're at work, you're 10 years old, you're 100 years old, it doesn't really matter. This concept will change your life. So what is homework for life? It is a very, very simple Excel sheet. Don't be scared, I know Excel scares you. Basically, it's a simple like sheet where basically you write down the dates of the year. So you can write like the day that it is. So right now it's August 12th. So you write August 12th. On the side, you write, at the end of the day, you write like a short version of a memorable thing that happened today. You sit down and you think, okay, what's something that happened today that was super memorable that I can turn into like a 5-minute story if someone asked me what it was? And then write down the shortest version of it. So I'll give you a small example. So a couple of years ago, I was studying for this driver's test, and I would wake up at 5 a.m. for it. I'd study for maybe an hour and a half, and for a break, I'd go downstairs out of my building, and right next to my building, there's this little park where like you can work out and also play. And there was this kid who was also just playing around, and I thought, you know what, I'll just sit around the park, do some pull-ups, do some push-ups. And what I noticed was the kid wasn't playing. The kid was working out. Now the thing is, I'm used to like people my age, like teenagers and adults working out and like doing things in a park. This kid was no more than the age of 8, and his mom was just sitting on the corner. She was just reading something, and I could tell that this kid was not playing. He was doing pull-ups, he was doing some push-ups, he was doing monkey bars, like in a way that indicates that he was working out. I started exercising with him, and this kid was doing pull-ups. He was doing like push-ups and like crunches and stuff, and he's no more than the age of 8. And I was like, dang, there's kids like this, like that are actually locked in, that are strong, that have parents that like raise them in a way that like make them work out at the age of 8. And this is like the type of stuff I want for my kid in the future. Now, this was a story that kind of happened on a random February, like back in 2024. But I remember it because I wrote it down. It literally says Tuesday, February 6th, went out to get a study break from driving test, nearby park, kid playing, exercised, played with the kid was strong, was happy to see strong and active kid. That was like the shortest version of the story I just told you, right? The reason why you write it that short, it's important because you're supposed to write in a way where you can quickly just write down some words. If you can, just write in less words. But the goal is that when you read it like a year later or 2 years later or 10 years later, you'll remember it. You will remember it, not someone else. So this is a really quick and easy way to live a memorable life. You sit down at the end of the day and you look at everything that happened in the day, and just try to think like, okay, how can I write this down as a story, like a tiny story? So you'll realize that even though you might think that nothing happens in your life, stuff happens in your life. Your life naturally will bring you things that are exciting, sad, happy, memorable. And when you write them down, you save them. You save that memory in this Excel sheet in a way that doesn't tax you. Right? It's not like you got to write down exactly what happened. I didn't write down exactly what I just told you. I just wrote down like a smaller version of what happened. Now, understanding this, if you don't think you have much going on in your life where you can fill this out and have memories for yourself in the future, you just got to live a life where you can do that. Congratulations, you just unlocked permission to go live a fruitful life. So now that you make this document and you get into the habit of like writing down the date at the end of the day and then writing down something that happened, you will go out and not only will you have a scanner in your eyes, I've completed now, congratulations, I've installed a scanner in your eyes where now not only are you going to go look for stories in the day, in your normal day you're going to start noticing things that you'll be like, oh, I could write a memory about that and then remember it for later. You'll also start going and you'll have a new lust for life. You'll go out and you'll actually do things. When you have a choice between doing something for the plot and just going with your normal routine, you'll choose going for the plot because that's what becomes a memory. The routine doesn't become the memory. The routine will help you make success in whatever field you want, yes, but you can also do things for the plot and you can have a fun story to tell. I have a super large document from like 2 years of stuff, and the thing is, I'm not good at always remembering to write the story. So I have a notes app on my phone called Story Wallet, where in the moment when it's happening, I'll just quickly write down what happened and how it made me feel. And it'll be like the tiniest things where I can write it down, where if someone else read it, they could kind of guess what happened. But if I read it, since my brain can remember it, I will remember it completely. It's like when your friend asks you that like question, like, oh, do you remember when this happened? Then as soon as they say it, you'll be like, yeah, I love when that happened. Like, that was so funny, blah, blah, blah. If your friend never prompted you to remember it, you would never remember it. Be honest. Those memories that you have with your friends, like, you remember them in your brain, but if your friend never asked you to remember it, you wouldn't remember it. You wouldn't know. This document does that for you. It's you asking yourself to remember when. So whenever you're bored, you can go in and check, or if you want to tell someone a story, or you think nothing's happening in your life, just open the document, like go down to like May of like 2024, you'll be like, oh damn, like 80 things happened in May. Like, dang, this happened on that day, that happened that day, I remember when this happened, I remember that was so cool. And you'll be so happy. And you can fill out this document with how your life lives, and you can live a very, very fruitful life. This will push you to go live a life that you can actually enjoy. Doing this, you're not going to be happy if every day you said, okay, I woke up at this time, I scrolled, I called this person, I did this with my mom, and yeah. You're not going to say that because that's not exciting. It's not something that's memorable. You're only going to write something that's memorable, right? So not only does this open your eyes to the life you're living, it'll also just give you motivation to go and do something else, like just do something new. If you're like, okay, like, do I just call this person I haven't hung out with and just see where this goes? Like, I can put an all-nighter with this person, like outside, and see what happens. And you can just go do that because it'll be memorable. Because when you're 80 and your legs are like not working, your hair's gone, you're about to die out of like just old age, you're not gonna be proud of that one night where you like stayed in and like did that thing. While that is important, productivity is completely important, you're going to only love the moment where you did this with this girl. You went out with this girl and you said this. Or you went out with your friends and you pulled like a weekend bender. These type of things are memorable. And it's so important. Because when you open that homework for life page when you're 80 years old, you can go back to that exact day when that happened. You can go, like, it'll be like May 2080. And you can be like, oh my God, like, let me just scroll down. You just scroll up. And you see on May 2026, you did this thing. Like, that's amazing. Like, you can go back to that exact moment because your brain will remember it. It just needs a prompt. And you're giving yourself these tiny ass prompts. Like, for example, I'll give you one more story. So I said, recently been hanging out a lot. Noticed I dislike being home. Went for walks in WTC, which is a mall. I called friends to hang. Noticed I love being around people. So on that day, I noticed that I felt really, really alone. Like in this house, like I just don't like being alone in a house. I'm prone to feeling lonely a lot. So what I did was I just wore my shoes, dressed up, and went to the mall without a goal in mind, called up some friends. Whoever came, I hung out with them. And I felt a lot better. And I can imagine the feeling I had when I brought the friends over into the mall and we hung out and I felt like I had someone there with me and it's fun to like have people. Like, that's a memorable moment. That's such a cute, like, memorable moment. But you would never have it. I would never even remember I did that if I never wrote it down. I would never remember that happened because I always go to the mall. I always go outside. It's become routine. But because I wrote it down and I did something for the plot, I can have it. So start now. Search up Homework for Life. Search up Matthew Dix. There's a TED Talk that he had, and it's peak TED Talk, right? It's like not even that long. Just watch it, right? Watch it. He'll tell you exactly how to do it. He even shows like an example, and then just start doing it. Your first entry could be this video. Your first entry could be like, went on YouTube, watched this guy talk about homework for life, started writing stories, felt good. Just write that. Congratulations, you just locked in a memory for the rest of your life. If you like this video and you want to see more, click the subscribe button and the like button. I make videos like this all the time, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.